What's up, everybody? Randy here, Nerds Templar, chilling in episode 4 here of our live viewing, episode 4 of Beyond Lumina, my own creation. You heard there the rendition made from the in the description there. You can see the MetaQuest 2 on an app called Virtuoso. Did the music for all these episodes myself, composed on that. That was episode three's music, just to get you pumped. So yeah, that's that. And just I guess before we start, obviously episode 4 here of our space fantasy story. So we've already done 3 live. It's been a bit. I am going to recap then. We already had sort of given some time now to let people filter in. So let us do that recap. I am going to turn on the spoiler alert just so you guys know, anyone tuning in. Spoiler time right now, real quick. If you didn't watch or listen to the first 3 episodes, you're going to get caught up now or else get spoiled, one or the other, or both, I guess. So, episode 1, we met Aezic Zin, lieutenant of the Free World Alliance, one of the 3 major powers in the system of Lumina, which you can kind of see there in a very simplistic design of just, I guess, a star system kind of thing, which is what Lumina is, a star, the sun of this system. And Aezic Zin, lieutenant of the Free World Alliance, on his way home to the world of Ravina on military leave. He's got some headaches. He's having some memory loss issues. Um, whatever, he's going on leave. He assumes that it has to do with trying to get better. Whenever he gets into Ravina space, he tunes into a news broadcast basically, and hears that it has been war torn and ravaged just recently, alongside what had happened, the destruction of a big renowned warship of the Free World Alliances known as the Scion, taken down in the space of one of the other three powers out there, 3 major powers known as the Tansorian Federation, who was aligned with the Free World Alliance, and then that attack happened, and it seemed to coincide then with the attack on Ravina, which happened, which was done by, I should say, the other of the 3 powers known as the Royal Ascendancy. So 3 major powers, one, the Free World Alliance, and one, Aezic Zin, is a member of that. And you know what? Here you go, guys. I have these AI generated artworks you may have seen floating around on other streams that I've done and just on the channel in general. That there is Lieutenant Zin, Aezic Zin of the Free World Alliance. The best the AI could do. It was pretty good, actually. It did a really good job. I'm quite happy with how they turned out. So that's why I'm showing them to you. But that's all they are, AI generated. I could definitely use some better artwork from, you fine folks out there who are actual artists and not an AI. Unless you are an AI, then I mean, maybe just get better. Anyway, that's him. And so he is part of that. And then, of course, then we have the Royal Ascendancy and the Tansorian Federation, 3 powers. So he gets home. He wants to find out about his family, the whereabouts of his family. Goes to his home of Panya on Ravina. He lands in the capital of Cronus Prime, where all the space traffic basically goes in and out of, especially during the wartime situation. So he goes. He has no luck on his way back. Again, he's having headaches. On his way back, he runs into a lower ranking officer of the Free World Alliance known as Vala Rees, who asks him if he's okay, basically, and says that she is asked her superior officer, told him, I should say, about Aezic and his precarious situation of looking like he's very ill, and her commander basically told her, yeah, go ahead and make sure that he is okay, because he's all by himself, traveling around, and he's not necessarily stationed there. Of course, being Free World Alliance officers, they easily can find that kind of stuff out. Aezic able to find out who Vala is on her approach. And then eventually they do make their way back to Cronus Prime together, where she introduces him. And here's Vala, by the way. There's a picture of her. Her outfit is a little more correct with the draping cape. It should actually even have like a like a front mantle that comes the whole way around. I guess it could be undone and then also just look like it is there on her. But yeah, that's actually pretty much, both of those pictures are pretty much on point with what the characters are supposed to look like. And you'll find that out or you already know that perhaps based on the descriptions given in the previous 3 episodes. So then there, okay, so I'm gonna try to speed up the recap here just real quick. So they made their way back. He had no luck. He met her commander. They had no luck. He, on his way back to try to find some lead, runs into Ravinian soldiers, again, that named Zario, one of them, the leader of them, who then takes him in the 2nd episode to the northern area of Animov and Ravina, where there's a large bunker filled with a lot of refugees, basically, of Ravina, and where the most of the military is now stationed. Ravinian military is now stationed. The Free World Alliance doing its thing in Cronus Prime. Ravinian military, the world military itself, basically setting up shop now in Animov, in this bunker where all these citizens are now located. So they go there. He gets basically another mission, still no luck with finding anything about his family. So he goes on a mission to an unknown bunker location, and they're not sure what's happening, but there's some sort of signals going out on the other side, basically, of the world, still in the region of Animov, the northern region, but on the other side of it. And so he, Zario, and the rest of Zario's crew then, and here's Zario also, by the way. The last picture I got for you, the 3 main characters basically here. And so there's Zario, also pretty good, although his cheeks should be maybe a little, just slightly more plump, his cheeks. His hair should be slightly shorter and maybe a tad more blue. Other than that, he's pretty much perfect. Also, he and Zin, neither of them have mustaches. They more just have the beard. So those would be, if you're an artist thinking about it, yeah, those would be some small changes. You can also, in the first 3 episodes, I don't think I have any in episode 4 here. I think you saw all of my terrible artwork at the end of the episodes. I think it was just the first 3. So those might give you another slight idea of some of the other elements of, like, basically the outfits, not much else. And so, yes, they infiltrate this little outpost. They are able to clear it, gain some more information, which they take back to the Captain Autoron of the Ravinian military back in Animov, who then, they're able to decrypt enough to find out where the signal was headed, which is an outpost just outside of Ravina. And so they head there in episode 3. Well, they head there and then they get there in episode 3 at the beginning. They infiltrate that outpost where they split. Aezic is then turned on by he gets betrayed by 3 of the not Zario's crew. So Valanth and his 2 subordinates, Mecca and Argyle. I actually have artwork for all of these people. Now that okay, now that we're talking about this, let me just bring this up now, I guess. So here's Aezic, and let me clear these things here. I'm going to do this real quick, and then I'm going to take this off so you can just see it real fast. Okay, so there's Aezic. You already saw his pick. Saw Vala, Rees, Zario Loner, and then we have there's Maddox Valanth. So he is one of the subordinates but leaders, and then Bohawk is the other. And then Maddox Valance. Oh, never mind. We have Quaz Filony. These are Bohawk's subordinates. Quaz Filony, which he mostly goes by Filony. And then we have Usion here. And then below them we have Mecca and Argyle. Mecca and Argyle. And I think, yeah, that's oh yeah, and also Vala's commander, Sergeant Major Ravim, Ty Ravim. There's him. So Then there was one more character that was mentioned, and I'll show her. She's just below this in a moment. Actually, I show her now. So this is the other Master Sergeant Malune. I guess it would be Malune. I've been pronouncing it Malune. The other of Robin's subordinates, along with Valeri's, is Master Sergeant Malune, who's, I guess, like, one rank higher than Vala would be a sergeant, and then their commander, Sergeant Major Robin. And those are the characters that you basically have met so far. I think that's pretty much all of them. And I have more. I actually have created all the characters now from, oops, there's Rivendell. Created all the characters from the first 10 episodes here. So again, they got there. He got betrayed by Mecha Argyle, because Valanth was with him, but he left to see what the commotion was on the other side of the outpost, where at the same time Zario, along with Filony and Usion, Hawk was on the ship, watching the ship. Zario, Filony, and Usion ambushed by Ascendancy soldiers, which they were not expecting, because they were expecting to betray Aezic and leave. They also got betrayed by Captain Audron, in fact, because they are, in fact, just a bunch of mercenaries hired by this Captain Audron. And so things didn't go well for them. Everyone basically survived, ended up basically regrouping. Aezic got away, and then they came to find him, because the outpost then got I actually don't know exactly where. Yeah, I think, yeah, okay, yeah, I do know. Okay, so I know where 3 ends, yes. So the outpost got ambushed by even more Ascendancy soldiers. They fight their way out, Aezic, Zario, and the rest together. They steal the ship. They don't know where Hawk is, because their old ship is gone. They steal the new Ascendancy ship to get out of there. And then Aezic, wanting to return to Ravina, is told by Zario they can't, because Aezic is being hunted actively by the Ascendancy. So, who is obviously has some doings in Ravina to be able to, have all this, coordinate all these things. So anyway, 20 minutes in now, let us begin. I'll take away the spoilers thing. Anyone who had the thing muted, yes, we're back now. Sorry if I scared you with any pictures coming up and you had only the thing muted. I highly doubt that's, I don't know if anyone's even watching at this point, but that doesn't matter, because I just want to get this back in rotation on the channel. I actually put all the episodes are public again. I don't know why I kept them unlisted for so long. They're all public again. I have 20 episodes written at this point. 10 are already on here. I have 20 written. I'm shooting for 30 episodes, just so you're aware. And every episode's been about 10 pages long. So just so you can kind of gauge what exactly is happening here. It takes maybe about 25 minutes or so for me to read through. So for every episode, it's about 25 minutes, like you would see in a normal television episode of something. And there's going to be 300 pages of a story, for one book, for this whatever you want to call it, chapter. Well, not chapter, I guess it would be this story, this book, or this season. So, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go away now. Actually, just gonna mute myself so you know that I'm still here watching with y'all. But here we go. Without further ado, guys, episode 4 of Beyond Lumina, The Escape. Almost stopped the stream. Here we go. Nope. Go back. All right. Beyond Lumina, Episode 4, The Escape. The commander of the Scion came to his senses once more and looked around. Poisoned again, he thought. He was in a different room now, bound to a chair, but he was alone for the time being. It wasn't the first time his captors had him in this room. He was brought here twice already and interrogated. He could only wish that the others were in the same predicament, but he didn't have much real hope for that, judging by what their interrogators wanted. After he was taken back to their prison the last time, the helmsman and the chief engineer were not there, and they never returned. The thought that he may have no crew left crossed his mind for the first time. Then the door opened, and two of his captors entered the room. "Awake again. Good," one of them said. "We need you awake." "I already told you I have no idea where he is," the commander asserted. "I haven't seen him in cycles. What more do you want me to say? Why are you doing this, and where are the others?" "We are done asking questions," the same man replied, "and we are not going to be answering any of yours. It is time for you to be going now." Another man then entered the room, wheeling a large machine along with him. Already dismayed, the commander knew exactly what it meant. "No, please, why are you doing this?" "Because you can get us the information we need," the man answered, "whether you know it or not." The commander was then hooked up to the machine, and it was turned on. After a couple of seconds of charging, it began emitting a low-pitched pulsing noise. The commander's mind began to darken, then go blank. Just before he lost consciousness again, he could hear the whir of a drill-like machine. "Reese, get up!" The icy voice of Master Sergeant Maloon came from the other side of Bala's door, after a knock had roused her from her sleep. "The commander wants to see you, now." "Right," Bala said sleepily. "I'm on my way." Maloon had already left. Bala's night had not been very restful after the stress of the last rotation. She had her home and her family on her mind, and the past. She even dreamt of her home as though it was ravaged like Ravina, much like it may have been during the Civil War. "I'm so ready to get off this planet," she thought. With a sigh, Bala got up, donned her officer's uniform, and departed for Sergeant Major Ravim's office. Her commander looked to be studying something intently on his desk when Bala arrived. She knocked lightly on the wall. "Commander, you sent for me?" He looked up from whatever had his attention. "Ah, yes, come in, Sergeant," he said. Bala did as he asked and took a seat across from him. "I have a special assignment for you. We will be heading back out to local space soon, but I need you to take your fighter and follow this trajectory." Ravim sent the data to Bala. "I will update you with a precise location later. For now, just head in that direction. You'll hear from me soon, once I know more. I need the rest of your team here with me, so you'll have to do this alone, but I trust you can accomplish the task." "Yes, sir," Bala responded, then asked, "What am I looking for out there?" "I will update you on that later as well, when everything is clear," Ravim answered. "I believe, though, that there's another traitor. There's no immediate danger, which is why I am comfortable sending you alone, but be cautious nevertheless." "Yes, Commander. I will leave immediately," Bala said with a salute, then turned and left Ravim's office. She headed for the barracks and found her subordinate, Corporal Tice, who helped her locate the other two members, Kizawap and Yuxkothlo. Together they made up the Blue Fighter team aboard the Triptych. Master Sergeant Maloon, the security chief, and her team made up the other half of the fighter squad, the Gold team. Bala told her team what her orders were, and that they would be getting orders from Master Sergeant Maloon for the time being, then told them farewell and left for her ship. Taking a fighter alone into deep space meant that she would have to planet hop, stopping multiple times and ensuring she had the fuel to make it to another civilized planet. It was a more tedious way of travel, but a common one. Bala quickly made her way to the hangar where the Triptych was docked, prepared her fighter, and took off into orbit, then headed in the direction that Ravim had given her. Aezic and the mercenaries watched the asteroid outpost fade from view as they quickly made their escape aboard the Royal Ascendancy battleship. The mood was a solemn one, however, as they passed the wreckage of the runner floating nearby as they retreated, no doubt with Hawk among it. Because they had lost one of their crew, Zario took the helm. Usian had gone to clear the rest of the ship, making sure there were no Ascendancy aboard with them. "So any ideas where we can go?" Zario eventually asked Aezic.
We didn't really plan to become outlaws with you, but here we are. You're telling me you have no planet you operate from? There aren't any more of you? Aezic asked. No, it's just us, Zario answered. And no, we don't have any secret base or anything. We're just a small band of mercenaries. We had a ship, but there's no way we can get that back now. It's in Animov. No wonder we didn't bring any extra crew members with us to the outpost, Aezic thought. There weren't any more. Alright, well, the first thing we need to do is get rid of this ship, Aezic replied. They are probably already tracking us. Balanth, what civilized planets are we heading toward right now that aren't with the Ascendancy or the Federation? The only one currently near us is an independent world, Ob, Balanth answered. Independent worlds were those that were not aligned with one of the three major powers, and thus each governed itself fully. There were only about a handful of them, and they were less developed than those worlds that were part of a major power, since they relied mostly on their own techniques and technology, and had less means for trading on the larger space market. Yet they were still part of the economy of Lumina, and advanced enough that it was legal in the Alliance to land on one of them. The worlds that had yet to reach the space age were illegal to make contact with. That task was left to those with more authority. That's our luck, Aezic said. Not the time of the cycle to get stranded from Ravina. But we'll at least be able to find something else there that flies, though I hate sticking them with this Ascendancy ship. No doubt they'll have mirrors all over them if we do. The mirrors were the first race to reach the advanced space age and travel to other planets, and they were the leaders of the Royal Ascendancy. But the term as Aezic had used it referred more to the Ascendancy as a whole, rather than the specific race. We don't have any choice, Zario responded. If we don't, they'll be on us instead. Aezic agreed. You're right. Let's make for Ob, then. But I think we should bring the Ascendancy ship back out to deep space and leave it stranded once we have another one. It might keep the Ascendancy off of Ob. Just then, they heard multiple blasts coming from the ship, then looked out the viewport to see several escape pods ejecting into space. Moments later, Usion returned. Well, we're alone now, he confirmed. Should we let them go? Mecha asked. Yes, Aezic replied. They don't know what we're doing, no more than the rest of the Ascendancy at this point. No doubt those aboard this battleship already contacted others when they lost us at the outpost. We can't even go back to look for Hawk, Villainy said sorrowfully. The asteroid field will be crawling with Ascendancy soon. Let's take things one step at a time, Aezic said. We can reassess our situation once we find another ship. As the crew flew through deep space toward the independent planet of Ob, Aezic once again had a moment to think of his own real crew in the Alliance. He still had not heard from anyone, which was even concerning at this point for Kaiken, but nearly unthinkable when it came to his captain. There was never a time that he wasn't reachable, Aezic thought. He once more tried to contact him, to let him know that there was some trouble, but he didn't go into much detail. He didn't really have much detail to give anyway. He tried again to recall the last time he heard from the captain, but it was still no use. Nothing would come to mind about what he was doing the rotations before going to Ravina. At first, he thought the fuzzy memory may have been due to the headaches, but now he wasn't sure if the answer was so simple, and he feared what might really be happening. Ravim, Malun, and her team made their way to the triptych. They already had orders to investigate the nearby asteroid field, where there were reports of some hostile activity. The signs of a violent struggle were obvious as soon as they arrived. They could see the wreck of an Alliance cruiser, as well as a few bodies of Ascendancy soldiers that had drifted out of a breach in an outpost embedded in one of the asteroids. Take the fighters over there, Malun, Ravim said. Look for survivors, and bring any you find back here. And tell me if you find any of our people in there. Malun led her and Vala's fighter teams toward the asteroid outpost and instructed them to split up and search the nearby field, while one fighter searched among the wreckage of the runner. She and her second-in-command went to search the outpost itself. They docked their fighters on either side of the breach, then entered the outpost. All they saw were the lifeless bodies of all the Ascendancy soldiers that had been exposed to the void of space when the breach had opened. Searching all the rooms throughout the outpost, Maloon saw no signs of the Alliance being there, but there were obvious signs of a fight taking place within. Having no luck, the two returned to their fighters, rendezvoused with the rest of the team, and made their way back to the triptych. As they navigated back through the asteroids, Malu noticed something in the distance. Several things, in fact. "Corporal, do you see that?" she asked. "Aye, Commander," her subordinate confirmed. Maloon contacted Ravim back on the carrier. "Sir, it looks like something is approaching our location. Are you scanning anything incoming?" Ravim, who had been observing everything from the bridge of the triptych, responded. "Yes, Sergeant. Just appeared now. Looks like escape pods." Aezic and the mercenaries had entered Ob's local space, and would soon make their way into the atmosphere. "No directions from on-world," Villainy said, "but I guess we shouldn't expect much else from such an uncivilized place." "Just look for one of the bigger cities," Aezic instructed Zario. "They'll have places to dock." They entered the atmosphere of Ob, a very green and wet planet, and also rather large compared to most others in Lumina's system. Some of the flora was massive, big enough that cities were built on and in some of it. Sure enough, when they came upon one of the larger cities, one of several capitals of the world, based on the information Aezic had about it, they found an unused docking bay and put the Ascendancy ship down. They all breathed a sigh of relief, thinking they had safely escaped. But just after they landed, a large group of what they could only assume were soldiers emerged from a nearby building. Leading them, however, was not a soldier, perhaps a diplomat or political leader, Aezic thought. "Easy," Aezic said. "There shouldn't be any reason to start a fight." Once the ship was docked, they cautiously unboarded, with Aezic leading the group. They didn't get far before the one leading the soldiers spoke. "That's far enough," he shouted in a quivering voice. "We don't want any trouble here, but we don't have any business with other worlds. You must leave at once." "Please," Aezic implored him, "let me explain. We aren't from the Royal Ascendancy." "Yes, I can tell by your uniform," the man replied. "We may be less developed here than you, but I am no fool. I know a Free World Alliance officer when I see one." "Real nice," Zario muttered to Aezic. "We don't mean any harm," Aezic said. "We just need a ship, then we will take it in this one and leave you alone." "And what do I tell the Ascendancy when they ask me why I helped someone who hijacked one of their ships?" the man asked. "Commandeered," Zario clarified for him. "Please," Aezic tried again. "There's no need for the Ascendancy to know you helped us. Just let us purchase a ship and we will be on our way. No one will know." "You really do think I'm a fool," the man scowled. "I know quite well that all of you major powers have your eyes and ears in every corner of this system. The Ascendancy probably already knows you're here and is coming for you." "This guy is nuts," Zario said. "I don't think we're going to get anywhere with him. Can we just go somewhere else on this planet and try to steal a ship?" "No, just wait," Aezic answered. "This guy is right about one thing, though," he thought. "The Ascendancy is probably on their way here for us." "Then if you won't help us," Aezic addressed the Obian man again, "then we'll be forced to take a ship, and I know that you don't have the means to stop us, especially while we have this battleship. And I suppose you won't be calling the Ascendancy for help, since you don't seem to want anything to do with any major power. So either let us take a ship, or this will get messy." Aezic didn't like to stoop to such intimidation tactics, but this man was an easy read, and he knew it would be enough to get a ship without any conflict. Okay, fine," the man said, as Aezic predicted. "Please, just take one and go, quickly. When they come, I am going to tell them that this was forced." "That's fine," Aezic replied, relieved. "Just take us to a ship and we will be out of here." The man, who was the governor of the region, took them inside the spaceport, where there were only a few ships. "There aren't many to choose from," he said. "It's not like we have the funds and materials to throw around like you people." "I would offer you something else," Aezic said, "but all I can give you are Alliance notes. I'm not sure how useful that is to you here." Well, the governor started, it's better than nothing, I suppose, for all this trouble. Aezic gladly paid him a good sum of notes, Alliance credit, much more than the hunk of junk was worth, and the crew was able to depart without wasting too much time, since the governor wanted them gone just as quickly. Valanth, Villainy, and Usian took the Ascendancy battleship, while Aezic and the others took the new ship back out to space. They headed toward deep space once more, where they would dump the battleship. Okay, so what now? Zario asked while they were leaving orbit. Do we just wander aimlessly, trying to avoid the Ascendancy? I don't know what you plan on doing, Aezic replied, but I have other duties I need to see to, not to mention I'm still trying to find my family. Yeah, the only information I can give you about that, Zario said, is that I wasn't lying when I said they thought your brother was alive somewhere. That's really all I know that would help you. That, and that the Ascendancy has spies on Ravina, and even in the Alliance, just like that crazy dude said. And unfortunately, many of your people were really taken by the Ascendancy. What about Hawk? Mecca asked. We aren't even going to look for his body? They're going to be watching that place for at least a few rotations, Aezic said. Even if you found him, there's hardly any chance you would make it out anyway. Now that we have a ship, we should go to a free world. I need to check on some things, and I could probably use their help in finding some more information on my family and the other people of Ravina. They might even have a search effort in place already. Once we get there, you can take this ship and go wherever you want with it. I can get an Alliance ship. Valanth, who was seated at the navigation terminal, said, It looks like Satama is our best bet right now. Good, Aezic answered. That will be perfect. If anyone's looking for us, we should blend in, and I should be able to find information and help there if I'm going to find it anywhere. Sotama was one of the largest worlds of the Free World Alliance, both in size and population. It was also known as a planet of luxury and entertainment, a planet that never slept. It was, in fact, Kaiken, his subordinate's homeworld. It was a feat to be noticed on Sotama, so Aezic thought they should be safe. Just as they approached deep space, Villaini's voice came over the comms. Hey, Commander, he asked. What's up, Zario replied. I was combing through the data on the ship before we destroyed it, Villainy started, and I found something that looked like it was important to the Ascendancy. It seems like some kind of code, but I can't find any decryption anywhere. I'm going to send it over, so get ready to receive it. After a bit of a wait, the Obian ship received the data transmission, and Aezic checked it out. It was audible data, and as soon as Aezic started to listen, it was unmistakable to him. That's a Ravinian code, he said in astonishment. Vala made her way through deep space in her small Alliance fighter. It is much different, she thought, flying through deep space alone than with the crew. There was a silence and emptiness about it that seemed unending in the vast darkness of the universe. It offered a lot of time for thinking. She thought back to Ravina and the rest of the squad, who had probably gone back to local space by now. Then she thought about Aezic, whom she had only met briefly, but also someone whom she had been asked to watch. She didn't really know why, only an inkling that it had to do with everything happening on Ravina, and she also didn't know much about him either. From the time I spent with him, she thought, he seems like a good person. He was loyal. He only wanted to find his family. Nothing about it seemed made up. But she trusted her commander, as well as those he served under. And they must trust me, she thought again, if they would give me this mission. She was still mostly in the dark about what that mission was, but she knew that Ravam would not put her at risk, and she trusted she would know more in time. Just then the Sergeant Major's voice came over her comms. Come in, Bala. Yes, Commander, she responded. I have a location for you, he said. Head toward the independent planet of Ob. We have confirmed reports from earlier this rotation that the head of the Council of Tan was assassinated late last rotation in his private residence in Tantia. The rest of his family is safe and under protection, but too many questions are left unanswered. Is this the work of the Royal Ascendancy, or of the Free World Alliance, which has been growing in aggression toward the Tansorian Federation? Is this the beginning of war with all that is currently happening around Lumina? In other related news, there has still been no update on the whereabouts of the Prime Minister of Sor, who was thought to be taken hostage by a foreign power several rotations ago. Both the Ascendancy and the Alliance, however, deny these allegations. We will continue to keep you updated on both of these stories as they unfold, live, here on the Federation News Network.
So that's that. Episode 4 in the books. What'd you think? Let me know in the comments after you're done watching the VOD. Yeah, so of course then, yeah, here again at the end, why not show all our characters who are all, again, named in this episode. Also, sorry for those, hello to anyone that did join during the stream, or during the you know, rewatching there, the live viewing, not able to talk during it. I also don't speak Spanish, so there's that. But hello, hello. Sorry. All right, here we go. Yeah, so there it is. I'm gonna probably be back relatively soon with episode 5, so we can just get all these out of the way, get through them all, and start posting 11 through 30, because I'm super excited to do not only to do that, but one of the reasons I started like just trying to grind through the rest of this book is because I will probably just end up writing the next book too, because I'm enjoying it again. That's usually what happens once you kind of force yourself to get back into something. At least that's what happens with me, and then I do eventually start enjoying it again at some point, relatively soon afterwards. So that's good. Which was the case for this. But the reason I started was because I do want to do some short stories that will start building the world of Wildlands, which we have many games based on, like 4 or 5 games now. One of which is like a kids trading card game. It's like a kids card game. I say only because like I'm trying to make it simple enough that you could maybe play it. I'm shooting for 7. If like a 6-year-old could pick it up, that'd be amazing. But I'm shooting for 7 because that seems to be about the age. That's where my older nephew is right now. So I'm hoping that I can kind of use him as the guinea pig to see if it's good enough. But that's Wildlands, and so I do want to get some actual stories, short stories out, kind of about the main Wildlands characters. And so that's why I wanted to make sure I finished this first. And so that's what we're doing. Yeah. And so episode 4 of 10 that are currently posted. If you really want to just zip ahead of everybody, you can, I guess, and watch watch/listen to the first 10 episodes. But if you want to just go along with us, then you can do that as well. We will probably so today's Saturday. Our Pokemon streams are Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern. Friday evenings at about 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We're trying at least to do our either Lorcana, Disney Lorcana, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card stream, which we just did Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. Trying to do those actually on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. again. So I'm going to probably do that, and that will probably leave Wednesdays for Beyond Lumina and also Saturdays. I think I'm going to do both Wednesday and Saturday mornings instead of evenings because I prefer the morning. I also feel like I get more views, more live people hanging out in the morning. So I think I'm just going to do that. The only one I'm not going to move to the morning is the big Pokemon stream, just because it's, at least for now, I won't, because it's the one, it and the other Pokemon stream, those are the ones that have the most set times. But if people would let me know in the votes, I still have a vote poll open in the community section, in the community tab. If you want to check out, of course, then this is Sergeant Valeries of the Free World Alliance. Scroll to the next person here. Again, people that you were just listening about. Zario, the leader of the mercenaries there. And again, his cheeks should be just a slightly more plump, and his hair should be slightly shorter, and again, slightly more blue, and he shouldn't have a mustache. Am I missing anything else about him? I don't think so. He's pretty much good at other than that. You can give him a hood that can be down, but he would have a hood on as well on that big coat. Coat can be open. I normally, I don't know. I normally imagine him with the coat being open, but you know, you don't always have your coat open. Sometimes you zip it up, right? So it doesn't really matter. The AI did such a great job, but Zarya was a little harder than some of the other ones. The more, I think I would say, the more stereotypical the character, the easier the AI has with you remaking it. Obviously, there's more things to pull from the internet and mishmash. So yeah, I'm gonna say Wednesday morning and Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern is when we always try to shoot for in the mornings. So that'll be for the rest of the episodes 5 through 10, and then actually it's gonna continue probably. Maybe we'll only do one a week, but I might try to keep it at 2 a week, and maybe we'll just keep doing Wednesdays and Saturday mornings with releasing 11 through 30, and also doing the live viewing of those episodes when they get released. So like, what is that? This actually like, there's something on YouTube called like, I don't know what it is, premiering the thing or something. So we can actually watch it live together as soon as I hit the publish button, basically. So that's what's going to happen for 11 to 30, and we're going to get there in just a couple weeks. So we have 6 left. So yeah, 3 weeks. That'll work out just perfectly. So we'll do Wednesdays and Saturdays the next 3 weeks, and then week 4 from now, I guess you can hopefully count on seeing new episode 11 get posted. Like I said, I'm about at episode 20 all written up, and the whole thing's already outlined. So yeah, gonna get it, get the rest out there. Hopefully, I'm hoping that I can do it in like a couple weeks, finish literally the entire thing, and before. It'd be great. Yeah, I'm going to make that my goal. Finish writing the entire thing before we're done going through these 10 episodes. There you go. That's my target. But I will see you. Next stream will be Tuesday morning, Pokemon. We'll be checking out what I get at my tournament tomorrow, actually, because today's Saturday. Tomorrow's the tournament. It's a $15 one, so bigger, the Pokemon Cup. Not the challenge, but the cup. And yeah, I will probably lose all my matches. Maybe I'll get lucky and win one. But yeah, that is that. This is Valen again. The two subordinates, you could say, of Zario would be Valenth, and again, they're just mercenaries, so more like the next leaders under Zario would be Valenth and Hawk there. Hawk, now we know, well, we don't know what happened to him. He was on the ship during the asteroid debacle. Oh, also, you'll be able to kind of notice maybe that the story progresses in arcs of about 4 to 6 episodes. It's pretty loose, so that's why I say 4 to 6 here and there. You can some of them you could say it's 4 or 5, some you could say it's 5 or 6, you know. So, but that's kind of you might kind of see that happening. So we're in the first arc, obviously, and then we'll eventually hit that second arc, which then 11 to 15 or whatever, that's kind of meshing into the third arc, and then eventually then into the fourth, and so on. But yeah, then we're in the first arc here, toward the end then of the first arc, I guess you could say. This is maybe one I would count perhaps as 5 or 6 episode arc for the beginning here. So Hawk, and then the subordinates of Hawk are Villainy. Try to think, not a whole lot. Yeah, I guess you don't know a whole lot about these guys yet, but there were, a few things here and there that you may have picked up. Maybe not so much about Villainy, but the next of Hawk's underlings, Usion here, maybe picked up a little more about his personality in the episode, past 4 episodes now. And then Valence, again, Valence to subordinates Mecha and Argyle. Here's Mecha and her dark infiltrate. I tried to get in the background there, her on the black Vector Nightcrawler, her souped up grav bike, but Yeah, didn't. Same with Aezic. I tried to get Aezic's picture of him on that on his Vector VX. Well, I can't remember which one it was that he rode in the beginning. Was it a VX6, 5 or 6? I think. I think he rides a 7 later on. Yeah, it's the 7 later. I think maybe that's the 5. It doesn't really matter, but either way, if you're into vehicles, I guess it does matter. But then yeah, that's her Vector Nightcrawler mecha there, and Argyle also tried to get him on a Vector Nightcrawler, but instead it just put this black ship back here. But whatever, it's fine. And that's the Zario crew basically, save for the first two, Aezic and Vala, who are the Free World Alliance military, both officers actually, Aezic being a lieutenant and Vala being a sergeant of course, of Sergeant Major Ty Robin. She is under him, and also his other subordinate. He has two. You could say sergeants under him, right? So it's Vala and it's Master Sergeant Maloon there. It's hard basically to get pictures of either men or women in the AI generator that aren't just beautiful or handsome. So like even if you try to put something in that said that like homely or something, doesn't even work. So you basically just get a bunch of handsome and beautiful people no matter what you do. That's why everyone looks so good, but that's not necessarily the case. Anywho, that's all the characters I have on here right now, because those are all the characters not main, but like main and supporting cast that you've met so far. So those are them. And again, these are just AI generated, nothing crazy, but the AI did a much better job than I could do by myself. So there's that. Maybe you just chalk that up to my amazing AI prompting ability, perhaps. But yeah, so that's that. Found the one that the sniper of the group. That's what that's about. Of course, Usion with his giant Aether blade on his back there, Aether plate as well. That's what that mauve metal is. Everyone's got goggles on because those are their tri-optics, but especially these two, they just didn't really. Aezics look a little better as tri-optics, I would say. Anywho, all right, guys, that's it. Catch you in one of the next ones. Tuesday morning, Pokemon. Wednesday morning, Beyond Lumina, Episode 5. Thursday morning, probably Lorcana, unless I don't get any new Disney Lorcana stuff. I don't actually have anything to open right now, but I do need to get those starter decks. Thursday, back to I'm sorry, Friday, back to Pokemon, and then Saturday, back to Beyond Lumina. That's our lineup for next week, and probably the weeks to come for a while. And maybe on those Mondays, if I feel like it, I might even in the mornings throw in one of our Temple Nerd vodcasts. Who knows? For now, guys, though, that's it. I'm Randy. This is Nerds Templar. Have a blessed weekend. Peace. See you later.